why doesn't Ukraine just surrender to Russia? Because that will avoid the war. That's the question I actually asked my two really good friends. So Naz was my best friend and my co-founder, and we're growing a business together. He's from Ukraine. And I asked him that. And then I also asked another one of my friends who's a very successful business owner, but I won't name him because I don't want him to be part of any controversy. And I was sitting at a dinner table with both of them, and I just genuinely asked, because I, just for context, I'm very bad at geography, don't know or understand much about the history of these worlds. I just focus on my business and I just focus on growing it, and that's about the main things I focus on. And so I genuinely asked them, I said, like, why, you know, and in the start I was kind of joking. I'm like, aren't I more pro-Ukraine if I'm like, if they surrender, then nobody has to die and then they'll become part of it, part of Russia. And then they told me, and Naz gave me very good insights. And he was like, well, the problem that happens is not just that they will now live peacefully. The problem that happens is, one, they'll lose freedom of speech because Russia is essentially a dictatorship. So I was like, wow, I did not actually know that that's what would happen, right? And that's a big thing, because freedom of speech is how my entire business runs and how I make my content online and how I'm able to run ads. So like, if that's taken away, there's not much I would be able to do or be good at. And then I was talking, and then my other friend who was sitting there said that it's not just that you will lose freedom of speech. He's like, then imagine other things like, you know, if they take Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and then they put them in cages, because that's, I think Russia is doing something like that, where they're like taking some of their most popular business owners and, you know, rich people and putting them in a cage. And so he's like, that's also what would be happening. And when I thought about that, I'm like, well, that's pretty devastating. That would be crazy, because Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, I believe, are providing so much value, because I just ordered something right before this call off of Amazon. And then the other day I was on an airplane that had fucking Starlink, and I was like, yo, the Wi-Fi on this plane is so good. And that's Elon Musk's, you know, thing, Starlink. And then there's this whole thing of ownership and property rights. And then my other friend was telling me that that would be, you know, he's like, you're growing your business right now, and I'm growing, you know, I grew one of my YouTube channels to 1 million subscribers and taught developers on there. And now I'm growing another business, which is a product company, and it's an AI tool that I'm building with Naz. And so my other friend, let's just call him Michael. Michael was like, look, imagine you grow all of this, and once it becomes successful, Putin just comes and takes it over, and now it's his business, and now it's not yours. He's like, would you be motivated to do that? And I'm like, fuck no. And so when I thought about that, I'm like, well, then that's also a really big problem, that Ukraine would have to worry about losing not just their freedom of speech, but everything that they worked so hard for. The people would lose that, or the money that they have sitting in their bank accounts, they could just lose it overnight, and it could be taken away by this other government. And that was really the first time I started to really think deeply and go, maybe this is why people actually die over fighting for freedom. And it wasn't like they planned on it or that they wanted to. That was their biggest desire. But I can start to see for the first time in my life why somebody would die defending something. Because I thought about it, and I'm like, if I spend that much time, how much time I spent building my business, or, you know, making friendships and finding a way to live in America, if somebody else was threatening it, even if it was a big threat, an existential threat where like I could really die as part of it, I would like kind of almost be forced into fighting that war and becoming, and actually standing up for the fight and my own rights and my family and my friends and everything that I've worked so hard for, and I wouldn't want to lose that. So I just thought that was very interesting and insightful. And there's probably a lot of people like me who don't know much about how the world really works, because I just don't spend a lot of time on politics, or I missed out a lot on history, and so there's a lot that I just don't know about or think about. I don't look at the news. I just focus on like productivity, chess, random Instagram content, and then other than that, just growing my business and building my product company and YouTube, and like that's about it. So I thought that was interesting insight for me. It was an interesting conversation, and hopefully maybe somebody else who's watching this finds that interesting and we can start a dialogue about it. But yeah, I would love to learn more. Like, what are the other drawbacks and ramifications? And was it also insightful for you? Or you can just be like, haha, you're an idiot, and laugh at me too, because I know I don't know much about this stuff. So I am an idiot, and I will laugh with you at me. So it's fine. And drop that in the comments too. All right, with that said, love your face. I'll see you in the next video.